All right. Oppressors champion liberation, right? They cannot, sorry. The oppressor cannot champion liberation, right? The oppressor is not about liberation, right? In any sense. I can't champion liberation. I'm about oppression, right? That's a problem that you need to take on your own account. And what I'm going to do within my power is, to feel good is, I'll give you 2 cents here and there, but I'm really not going to give you the necessary knowledge, right? The necessary infrastructure needed in order to really pull you out of that water, right? The only people that really do that are members of the oppressed group, right? And that's why I'm here doing what I'm doing right now with you guys. Not because I'm getting paid for this, because I'm not making any money on this. It's to let you know that there are opportunities that you might not have known are available to you as oppressed people within academia, within the education system. There's other opportunities, but I'm not a business person. I don't do business stuff. I do education. So since I do this, I'm letting you know that this is an opportunity. You can do the same thing, and you can live a moderately nice life, right? So it's sort of leading by example and extending that hand to pull someone out of that oppression, let them know that you too can make something of your own life, is the first step towards liberation. All right. Next point, power and the objective transformation of reality. Now, it's important to understand the role of power, right? I'm just going to abbreviate this as power and OTR. So this is power and the objective transformation of reality. He asks a very, very interesting question, and this is my paraphrase of the question. Since liberation requires power, and that makes sense. If I want to liberate myself, I have to have some power, right? I have to attain some power. I'm fighting for power, but I have to have some power in order to purport, to initiate, to catalyze a revolt, a revolution. And it doesn't have to be a bloodbath revolution, a conceptual revolution, it can be heady. And really what he's not talking about a bloodbath revolution. He's talking a revolution in recognition, a revolution in the fact that your perceptions are deceiving you, that most of the things that you've been trained to believe are fact, for example, race, doesn't exist, right? It's socially constructed. It's a product of human ingenuity. And most of these things can be changed. We believe that these facts are like the gravitational constant, but they're not, right? But they're not. And this is, there needs to be a very, very strong warning, a very, very strong signal sent to social scientists that, look, what we're doing is malleable, right? It can be changed. It's not like physics. I mean, there should be a good separation. Quick side note, this is like my favorite pedagogical prank of all time, the Sokal affair, right? Alan Sokal, I'm not going to get into it right now, but big physicist recognizes that a lot of social scientists are dabbling in a field they know nothing, absolutely nothing about, and proves that we didn't know anything about, which is fine. I have no hubris here. We knew absolutely nothing about, and it was sort of like a check. It was a very, very good check. Listen, stay in your lane type of academic nudge. And it's true. It's a good point. If we're social scientists, we shouldn't be obsessing about these invariable, these inherencies within sort of scientific studies, right? With facts in that sense, right? These immutable or seemingly immutable facts. What we do is completely socially constructed. Most of the facts that we talk about, they are facts, but they're malleable, and they are subject to the change in times, right? It used to be the case that in the DSM, Diagnostic Statistics Manual, that shrinks use, that being a homosexual was a pathological disorder. It's no longer. Why is that? Because the fact changed? No, the fact didn't change. Our interpretation of the facts changed. So as Freire is saying, this false perception is preventing us from changing the objective, the objective transformation of reality, right? We're having a difficulty transforming our reality because we interpret these facts, which are socially constructed, as immutable. And they're not immutable. They're completely mutable. They're completely given to change. We just need to recognize that as oppressed people and mandate that change. And then the facts change, right? Two uses. There are two uses of this power, this educational power. The first use is what's known as systematic education. I'm not going to write it down. Systematic education. Basically, all systematic education is education educational change which is contingent on political power, right? So I want to make educational change. That educational change requires political power. That is a form of systematic education. Example off the top of my head, educational change. National board certification, in a sense. There was an attempt to incentivize young teachers to get national board certifications, but recently, because of budget constraints and the war and the fact that we've been in a recession, it's been the case that teachers no longer have any financial incentive to get national board certification. That certification would, in effect, make you a better teacher, arguably. If you wanted to make a change to that policy and reinstate sort of the role of the incentive of being nationally board certified for teachers, well, there should be some sort of pay increase or pay grade, but that's all political, and that educational reform requires political intervention, and that's why I don't get involved in those discussions, because I'm not a bureaucrat. There's another type of educational change which I love to talk about because I can affect it, which is what I'm doing right now with you in virtual space for free. Educational projects, right? This happens to be exactly what I'm doing right now. This is my particular, for the moment, educational project. I don't know how long this will maintain my interest, but I feel that I'm doing good, and this project doesn't require anybody's approval. I don't need to talk to anybody to do what I'm doing now. I've assumed this obligation on my own, and I've assumed this obligation for the betterment of those who are oppressed like me. You don't have to be black. You can be an impoverished white dude, right? You can be whoever you are. If you're interested in learning, I'm interested in engaging in a discussion. And as I said, I don't profess to know everything. I hardly know everything. But the little bit that I do know, and the knowledge that I do acquire, I do believe that it should be shared, right? So this is my particular educational project. So basically the distinction between systematic education and educational project is very simple. Educational project requires no political intervention, no political power. Systematic education requires, it's very bureaucratic, very sort of swamped in, bureaucracy and hierarchy. And which is why I don't delve in that arena at all. So those are the two stages of education power. Again, if you want to get the notes, just click the button in the description, print off the notes, you have it for yourself.